I'm Mia Yost, and I'm here with Sister Thompson, and I just wanted to ask you a little bit about the importance of recording our family history. Do you have any experiences that you have of when you recorded some of your own experiences?
You know, I do. I just love to write my family history in kind of short essay type things. And a few years ago, I recorded one about the baptism of my mother. And that was special to me. I had just turned 34 when my mother passed away of breast cancer. And that was a lifetime ago. And so, as through the years, I just felt like there were some things I needed to record. In December of 1974, my mother passed away. And December of 75, we went with good friends, Jerry and Louisa Lewis from Cedar Edge, to the Manti Temple, so I could have my mother's baptism work done. And these were special friends to us, and that just was wonderful. We went to a Friday night endowment session, and before we left the temple that night, the Lewises and my husband Clarence and myself, as we were leaving, one of the temple workers asked me if we would, when we returned the next morning, if we would be willing to do some initiatory work before the baptism. Louisa and I said yes, we'd be glad to do that. We got to the temple the next morning, and Louisa and I went in and did the initiatory work, and as we came out, getting ready for the baptism, the temple worker said to me, we just got word that the group of young people who were coming from Price to do baptisms today are unable to come because of this heavy snowstorm. And so there we were. Would you be willing to do 15 baptisms? And I said I would just be honored to do 15 baptisms. Now this is where it gets a little bit emotional, because the font had been filled. I was there to do one baptism. Would I do 15 more? Went into the font, did the 15 baptisms, and then did the baptism for my mother. And the baptism, it was over. That was the end of it. But I was told to just stand in the font. And so Jerry, Louisa, Clarence, the temple workers were there. Nobody knew why I had been asked to stay in the font. A minute, 2 minutes goes by, the font's draining now, and it's like, I'm a little uneasy. At that point, someone, one of the temple workers handed me a towel, and I was able to go ahead and get dressed and go to the initiatory and an endowment session for my mother, and then was sealed that same day to my parents. But I thought then, and I've thought since, and I think this is so important, Mia, this lesson that I learned as I stood in that font, the importance of just one. That day, the font was filled for one person, my mother. And it reminded me how much we are loved, each one of us individually, by the Lord and by Heavenly Father, the importance of the one. And I've thought of that experience many times through the years, of recording that. Had I not recorded that, I might have missed out on a really something that I could have learned and held in my heart forever and ever.
Thank you. That was a really sweet story. And that kind of just goes to show how important recording our own family history really is, and how it can help other people and ourselves too. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Just, it's such a wonderful thing, and we just have to simply sit down and get one piece of paper and one pencil and record something. Thank you, Mia.
Thank you.